everybody. And you, how are we? We are... Right, I've got a running trying bet with myself to try and get myself blocked by Steve Shives now. I used to have a lot of respect for his atheism stuff before he went complete fucking retard on me and decided to go all SGW feminist. But see, I've been trying to get blocked by him, right, and to this point I have not been able to. Now, he blocks everybody, but he's not blocking me, and I'm starting to get offended by this now. So, I'm going to now systematically make a series of videos involving his 5 things. And we're going to start with this one, which is Steve Shives' 5 harmful things about the Dukes of Hazzard. Okay? So, without further ado, let's dive right in.
Them good old boys might not have meant any harm, but unfortunately, intention isn't everything. Here are 5 harmful things about the Dukes of Hazzard.
My personal feelings aside about how I feel about you, Steve, I do actually quite like the Dukes of Hazzard. Now, I was there in 1979, I'm pretty sure, and it was like, what was it? What was the guy's name? Ben Jones and John Schneider, Luke and Bodek, right? And I'm pretty sure the whole show, aside from the fact it was based in the South, which in the 70s was classed as a little bit redneck, I suppose, by the general feeling about them was a little bit redneck. However, to be quite honest with you, the whole overlying feel of the show, well, in my own personal opinion, was that it was a group, 2 young men, a small family and a small community rallying together to fight a corrupt government who are trying to rob the people of land and money and oil and lots of things. And it was, nobody got really hurt, it was light-hearted, it was a bit tongue-in-cheek. And it was basically how these 2 boys who were convicted of moonshining and given probation, and they were then allowed to, instead of moonshining, they decided to set about foiling the plans of Boss Hogg. Right, that's the whole point of it. So let's jump into this and see what this fucking half-wit shitlord has to say about the Dukes of Hazzard.
Number 1, it prominently featured Confederate imagery.
Right, okay, I take it you're going to go on about the General Lee here, and to be quite honest with you, the General Lee, a 1970s Dodge Charger, right, great, awesome, beautiful car. It wasn't designed to be bad in any way, it was just fitting for the South. And actually the actor Ben Jones, who played Luke Duke, I'm pretty sure, he even said it means heritage, not hate. Right, seriously, you're just taking the piss now. Right, let's see what you got to say about this Confederate imagery.
Even more than John Schneider and Tom Wopat, or Catherine Bach and her denim cutoffs, the star of the Dukes of Hazzard was the Duke's 1969 Dodge Charger, nicknamed the General Lee, with a Confederate flag, the flag of the army that fought to defend slavery in the American Civil War, painted on the roof.
Yeah, as I said before, it's just a fitting for that area. They used it as a scene setter almost, not for the meaning behind it. It was just, you relate the Confederate flag with the South area. That's probably what they were going with that. And the General Lee, yeah, that's a little into a general, but it was fitting with the flag, right? And nobody took offence. You know, nobody took offence to this. So now you little fucking precious snowflake dickheads decide that this is what's gonna happen. I don't fucking think so. Right? Nobody gave a shit in the 70s. People shouldn't give a shit now. Do you know how we stop racism? We stop fucking talking about it. That's how we stop it. We stop fucking talking about it.
You can't watch an episode of the show without seeing that flag all over the place, which is the main reason why now, for the most part, you can't watch an episode of the show. But the...
You're still a wanker. You'll always be a wanker. You're just a wanker, and a smug little wanker at that.
General Lee, with its rebel flag roof, is just the beginning. Number 2, it depicted a romanticized South.
See my previous response to that question. It was a light-hearted, tongue-in-cheek thing. Jesus Christ. Why do you hate everything so much? Again, nobody gave a shit back then. Nobody gives a shit now. Fucktard.
It's easy to see why the Dukes of Hazzard was so popular. It's an affectionate celebration of the American South and its cherished traditions, which is affable and non-threatening enough for Yankees to enjoy too.
You're still not funny, you cunt. Seriously, man, it's not just, I'll just do this, fuck's sakes.
The show, there is no injustice that can't be overcome by a fast car and a bit of farm boy ingenuity. The local authorities are corrupt, but they're also easily thwarted buffoons who never do any real harm. Most everybody is dirt poor, yet they still lead lives of breathless adventure, and there's no racism to speak of, mostly because there are almost no black folks to speak of.
That is depictive of the time this TV show was filmed at. I mean, remember, 1979 this came out. Come on, fuck. Anyway, so, Steve, why do you hate things so much? What happened to you, man? Seriously? You disappoint me. You went all retard on me. Yeah, you did. You did. Fuck's sakes.
Number 3, it whitewashed the Deep South. While it wasn't unusual for American network television shows in the 1970s and 80s to feature few or no black performers, that lack of diversity is particularly glaring on a show set in a region of the country with a long history of sometimes violent racial inequality and centered on a pair of heroic white country boys who race around the county in the aforementioned General Lee. The problem wasn't lost on the show's creator, Guy Waldron, who tried to compensate by casting black guest stars as authority figures, including as the sheriff of a neighboring county. But even so, the scarcity of black faces in a series set in rural Georgia, where that fucking car is practically the lead protagonist, is a little tough to just shrug off.
Hey, retard! Yeah, you retard!
How fucking dare you, Steve? How fucking dare you? At the time, having black people in the power of in a position of authority was fucking unheard of. How fucking dare you? You fucking retard. I swear to God, you're so fucking... And you're blaming it all on the car being the protagonist. No, the car wasn't the star of the show. It was a plot line. It wasn't even part of the plot, I suppose. The car is just a fast car that was the biggest, most powerful car probably they could get their hands on at the time, that they could within budget, and because it was in Georgia and because the time it was set, that's why the car's there. But the guy who wrote the show gave black people a position of authority. That was unheard of in pretty much all television shows. For the 70s, that's pretty fucking spectacular. So stop being a fucking retard.
Number 4, it reinforced right-wing anti-government narratives. In the late 70s and early 80s, the Republican Party was shifting its message to attract more working-class voters by appealing to tradition, low-key white supremacy, and resentment of the government. Though it almost certainly wasn't intentional on the part of the show's creators, the Dukes of Hazzard provided this new American conservatism with its ideal mascots in the Dukes, who rebelled against crooked government officials and embodied rugged individualism. In the pilot episode, Bo tells his girlfriend that Uncle Jesse would rather starve than accept government assistance. Now there's a real American. Number 5, it encouraged people to minimize casual racism.
I'll let that one travel on for far too long because I was stunned into fucking silence. Oh my god. Okay, I don't even know how to comment to that one. Is the case, aren't you... Oh, you want so much more government, that's why you find that so unbelievable, but it's not a bad conservative fucking view, you know what I mean? And I understand, I know a lot of people who would say, I would rather starve than have a government handout. I myself personally, if you are unable to look after yourself because of ill health, or you go out and work because of a disability, or anything like that, I encourage the government to help those people as much as humanly possible, to make their lives as comfortable as it could be. However, if you're just a lazy fucking cunt sitting on the dole and the only thing you've got to do is piss a skid mark off the back of the toilet seat, right, seriously, your life is worthless, right? Just don't be so fucking lazy, put on a fucking shirt and tie and go out and apply for a fucking job, you lazy fucking dick. Sorry, I got a bit off topic there. However, back to the previous point, it was not about anything in particular that way, you know? I didn't mean it to be that way. It's the 70s. It's the fucking 70s. Casual racism was everywhere, so there we go. Okay, but this takes us on to point 5. Encourage people to minimise casual racism, fuck it.
You won't find any willful bigotry on the Dukes of Hazzard. Even that flag was intended to represent Southern pride. It's the same heritage, not hate line of horseshit that people still try to sell today.
Well, thank you for looking at the actual star who was part of the show's actual viewpoint. It was part of heritage, and since he was on the show and was probably written by him, I'm pretty sure it was written by them. But I'll check, you can always double check that. Don't take anything I say here as gospel, double check anything you can see here. I will put a link to the quote from John. Yeah, that dude. I said his name twice and I can't remember. Oh, I need to stop drinking. Right, okay. So, anyway, you're just in... Oh, Steve, I've lost where it was. Fuck it. Right, yes. You're calling bullshit on what was said about that. So, the series cast... Right, I'm pretty sure they were replaced at some point by another couple of cousins, Luke and Bo. I'm pretty sure they would have been involved in the actual writing of the show, or would have had at least some say in it. So anyway, Steve, I'm just going to say this outright. Take your balls out of your feminist's fucking wife's purse, put them back into your fucking scrotum, and use those fucking pair that you've just now acquired to stand up and realise that the shit you spout is exactly that. A ton of fucking bullshit. Steve Shives, you are a cuck. Without a doubt. A mindless zombie cuck who all they have left in life, because they've been browbeaten down by their feminist wife, right? And we've seen the videos where they take apart your interactions with that thunder cunt of a wife of yours, and where you smile briefly, oh so briefly, for one of the shows that you like, and your feminist Nazi wife, and yes, I use the term fucking Nazi to describe your wife, right? And you being like the Nazi youth, following blindly behind in your cuckery. You're a disgusting, pathetic little man, and you need to fucking grow a goddamn spine and stand up for yourself. You walking pile of scrotum. And I say empty scrotum, because at this moment in time, your testicles are firmly placed in your feminazi wife's purse. Right, we see your points now. I've had enough of you. Steve Shives, you suck cock. You suck cock, you suck cock. You like your chicks with dicks. Chicks with dicks. I'm pretty sure that's what you said, wasn't it, Steve? I'm pretty sure that's a meme somewhere now, and if it isn't, I'll fucking make sure it is. Anyway, as for Steve Shives, this will be one in probably a few videos of me just ripping into this waste of fucking skin. Anyway, to Steve Shives, you're a fucking retard. To everybody who watched this video, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this, hit like. If you want to comment, leave a comment. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. My name is Alexander Kingsfallen, and I am just an angry fucking man. Have a nice day now.